Hello and welcome to the video. I hope you enjoy. 3, 2, 1, let's begin. Everybody, welcome to DnD Talks, DnD Monday Talks. Well, it's Monday. I'm Goldheart, and Dan, Dungeon Master for the campaigns that we run, or that I run. Yeah, that makes sense. And who have we got on the talk today? Who's talking?
Hello, my name is Gabe, or Helping Hand is my player name online, and I'm gonna talk about some of my subjects today, I guess.
Cool. So you brung a list of subjects to talk about, haven't you?
Yep.
Yep. And who else have we got in the chat?
Well, there's me, Stephen, aka Uquest Modifier Online.
Yep. Nice.
I just got a couple of things I want to chat about with the upcoming what's the name? The Outlaw Campaign.
Yep.
Yep.
Brilliant. And Tim.
Due to the last person currently being muted, that's probably me. I'm Tim, online known as a Zenek, or I'm playing currently Tag Redfa. I played him. This campaign will continue later.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah.
So
I have not brought a topic today.
Nice. Well, yeah. So we've just wrapped up the latest of the campaign 6, which I'm not sure if we actually gave it a name in the end, but mostly
No.
traveling north with the with the information. So we wrapped that up on Friday, which is our D&D sessions. And then so now we're moving on to the next campaign that we've got going on will be I wanted to do a little bit more of give the players an opportunity to play characters that they don't normally play. So I've gone I gave them a choice of 3 different campaigns, all walking on the shadier side of life. And they've picked to do an Outlaw campaign. So that's the new campaign coming on Friday. And on Friday we'll do session 0 with everyone who's going to be playing then. And usually on session 0s, what we do is we go through everyone who's playing, who they're playing, and what the general startup scenario is. Before that, though, people will be starting at level 3. You are an outlaw, so you come up with your own backstory of why you are on the outside of the law. And that can be completely up to you which way you run that. So that's the new campaign coming, just to make everyone aware.
On the
Go on.
Yes.
on the session 0, is that where we talk about fixing down the rules for our characters and what we can use and what we can do, or
Correct.
do we do that here?
On session 0, so session 0 is also running through any house rules, world rules, all of that is session 0 as well. What people are happy with, what people aren't happy with, as a general rule of thumb at the table / stream,
I'll save my question list until then.
I mean, we can jump into those after whatever else there is. I mean, it's good to bring conversation topics to a talk, But
You you hear the car wash right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yes.
Shall we start for the conversations topics?
Sure.
Yeah.
Who wants to start, me or Tim?
I don't have a topic today. That's the thing.
Yeah, Tim said he didn't have a topic. But we'll start with your list of things. And as we enter the topics, what I'll do is I'll type them in the chat so people can keep up to date with what we're talking about. Okay, so the first topic that we're talking about.
Ravnica.
Okay.
The underrated use of Ravnica.
So how are you spelling Ravnica? Can you type it into the Discord chat for me, and then I'll put it across onto the stream.
Give me a second while I pull it up.
Yeah, just to keep everyone together of what we're talking about.
I don't think many people know about this because no one really bought this book.
Yep, no problem. Well, this is
Actually, the funny thing is, I actually have the book.
brilliant. Well, it's a good subject then, isn't it?
Yeah, I never read it because I don't really care for the grimdark shit. But I say this, it kind of is, and it's sort of grimdark.
Well, I'm talking about its stat blocks and whether you could be using.
Oh, stat block. Yeah.
We campaign I'm in is grimdark.
I know people seem to like that quite a lot for some reason.
Well, let's talk about the humanoid races because there's Give me a second. There's a lot of humanoids you can use, but no one seems to use anymore.
Loxodons, satyrs. Satyrs are not in it, but
no.
I think the Minotaur was in it, and the and God, what was it again?
Not the playable races. The humanoid stat block races. Humanoid stat block.
What were the ones called? The ones with the curses. I know those. I like those. What are they called? I can't.
Well, it's a mind mage. First off, let's go with the mind mage first.
Okay, Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. Okay, so we'll pop that into the chat here.
Max, stop licking my pants. My dog is licking me.
Okay, well, we don't need to let the world know that.
I didn't mean to. I'm just yelling at my dog. Max!
It's fine.
Max, leave me alone, Max. Max, leave me alone. No! Blitz kennel, Max bed.
You're right for spilling your mustard all down your pants.
No, I have.
Gotta be more careful when eating them dogs. Hot dogs, that is.
Okay, guys, focus back on D&D, please.
Okay. Well, let's start with the Thought Spy.
Cool.
The Thought Spy is basically a rogue with some spellcasting, with psionic spellcasting. One of the few monsters with actual psionics. It's a challenge rating 1 monster. Has all its stats out, but it has like its own thing, like Charm Person, Disguise Self, and Code Thoughts, which I'm going to talk about later. Blur, Detect Thoughts, and Gaseous Form. These are the spells it can cast. Some of them you can only cast once per day. But they're like, it would be a great spying maneuver. Like, Slayer's like, what is your character thinking of right now?
You can do the thing is, with this thing you can do a quick getaway because you can do with your bonus action, you can dash, disengage, or hide.
Yep.
And you have got Disguise Self at will, which pretty much means that you run away, turn into somebody else, and then just normally go through the crowd.
Jason Bourne it.
Yep. These are basically the ultimate. No one uses these, but they're like the ultimate spies you could use, like low-level spies.
They sound like cowards. Sorry, they just sound like cowards. Running triple the speed, that's lame.
Why not, though?
Getting away? No, you should always fight to the death. Nah, but seriously though, honestly, I've never been good with those chase type things, you know?
Yep.
Because either they get away way too easily, or they can't get away.
We could make it a skill challenge on a chase.
Yeah, but the rogue just so happens to have chosen expertise and athletics. So they chase down your thing and then grapple. That
There's
seems to
actually
change.
chase mechanics in D&D in a Dungeon Master guide. There's actually chase
Oh, there is?
mechanics.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh shit,
you should read them over sometime.
definitely. You know, I've literally never read any of the optional rules.
But then you got someone who's got a tabaxi monk who can literally run like 300 feet in one round.
Yeah, they're just too fast to stop.
Well, anyway, that was the Thought Spy.
Yeah.
The next one is the Frontline Medic. This puts Acolyte... What? Someone say something real quick? I just want to make sure. This puts the
What?
Acolyte out of the water. It's called the Frontline Medic. Frontline Medic.
Yeah. Arm lost right now. I'm worried about.
It is... What? It's basically a healer, but it's basically on the front lines. It's basically a 3rd level spellcaster who can cast Cure Wounds and has an armor class of 20.
Oh shit,
No, that's pretty much
Sounds-
just clerics.
that sounds like a cleric.
Is totally a level 3 cleric.
It is literally
Yeah.
a level 3 cleric, but you get it, but it's an NPC form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want like an army for a cleric, what has clerics or like a religious thing, you could totally use this for that.
Or just medics. That
Yeah.
has frontline medics.
You should give them all the medic feet and medical equipment.
Yeah. I just thought that was like this is. I'm like, why is this never used?
Simply because most of the time you don't run war and councils.
Yeah, I know, but like even in the councils, it's never used. So
Yeah, I could
It's-
throw 7 of them out there, but what they're going to end up doing is all they're going to do is heal the boss. That's just going to frustrate the players.
well,
Yeah,
if
of
you
course.
want to,
Go ahead.
well, if you want a low level encounter, you could use this as like a healer thing to show how to acknowledge that this kingdom does have its own military. You don't have to like spam it everywhere. You're just saying.
Yeah. The main thing is with war encounters in D&D, you can't think the way we would think in the real world. Because there's no magical healing, there's nothing of that sort. So in D&D, war would be incredibly different. It would actually mostly be spamming of healings. Which I think would be a very interesting way to do war.
The
Because
thing is,
a high level cleric could bring an entire platoon back up on its feet.
yeah, but what you have to think about is that the people that are born or have so high devotion in most worlds that they get healing abilities are most often in the lore actually few and far in between.
Yeah, of course.
Which means that somebody you train to swing a sword at somebody is way more common than somebody that just heals an entire battalion.
Well, I mean, you could have one of them, and they can cast a single spell, mass healing word, a 3rd level spell, bring
Mass
all
healing
over
word
the
is, I
entire.
think, limit
But
on
then
6
if you're
persons.
thinking of that, like in a war scenario, you'd have special assassination squads to take those out, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have special squads to bring those healers out into the field to bring up an entire platoon.
Yeah, but then you'd have the enemy's counteraction is
Yes.
to take those out. But yeah, they're high valuable targets, definitely.
Yeah, there'd be high valuable targets. And then there's the wizards that could blow up entire freaking pits.
I love it. Like when we started talking, like, okay, so if magic was a thing, we could like do so. On my word, we could have,
yeah.
like, mechs and
Totally a thing
things
why
and-
war magic.
Yeah. War
magic
magic. Yeah.
an entire school.
You can do avalanches on people and yeah.
I've
There's some crazy
invented
stuff.
playing a character before. I've invented, those cherry cutter bombs the US military have.
Yeah.
The daisy cutter, I think they're called. Or
Daisy
cherry cutters.
cutters, yeah.
Daisy cutters, yeah. I got a character who invented low basically.
Yeah.
It's a backpack. It's just strapped full of like jugs of alchemist fire, and you just fly up on a magic carpet or a flying broom, and just hurl this thing at the ground with with like 10 jugs of alchemist fire attached to it,
Yeah.
and just boom.
Well, here's the thing, though. With
Oh,
every idea that you have about how to use it for offensive or defensive, there's the opposite, isn't there? So, yeah.
There's the other massive thing of catapults and stuff like that. They're very powerful, but
Yeah.
you can do some wacky stuff with them. You
Yeah.
could actually straight up put alchemist fire in a cannonball and
Mate,
blast that into their wall.
or you can teleport teleport it behind that wall. You know?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like so like for every for every idea, like I'll fire this at you, right? But then I can just teleport your cannon out the way.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, it's I love adding magic into real scenarios. It's like, well, if you had this, you would do that, and then the wars would be freaking crazy, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah, they would. Bring a
Big
dragon
war.
over.
It's like, yeah, dragons, and then you just add a dragon riders and shit, you know. So, yeah.
Speaking
Those
of war,
the entire platoon of Griffin riders, each one carrying a bead of fireball.
I can't help but you'd get some singed feathers. But
Oh no, what I mean is, if you can take one of those Griffins down, they're gonna fall down and explode upon your platoons.
Yeah, carnage. Lots of yeah,
Oh yeah,
carnage. Yeah.
and then when you get them above a high value unit, they all drop their bead of fireball.
I mean,
each
you
and every
do it like
soldier
that,
drops
or
one.
there's so many creatures that you could use in similar manners. You know, like
Yeah.
you could fire friggin' like naturalist cubes at people. You know, it's like
Get a single fucking druid to cast a massive conjure animals and have a whole bunch of flying monkeys fly above somebody
So
and drop a whole bunch of spells upon them.
Well, especially if you had several druids in one, like a druid squad, you know, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
what? When did this become a talk about war?
No,
I don't know.
We
It's
were
slowly
just
been-
talking about magic in real world scenarios, isn't it? But anyway, bring it back to what you were talking about.
Well, the next thing, speaking of war, I was going to talk about the soldier, which is like a better thing and most better guard,
Mm-hmm.
which it could be like foot soldiers, but no one, which only I've seen you use actually.
Mm-hmm.
And it's,
Well, I often like to get standard formats for guards as much as I can do. Yeah. So you've got a baseline troop to see how much better the heroes are or whatnot.
Yep.
You know,
Yep, baseline.
So it's like it's good to do. It's good to do. So like in the upcoming campaign of Outlaws, you're going to be chased quite often by law keepers. You know, so they're the standard like police coming after you.
Yeah.
But
So lots of standard guard.
Exactly. So it's going to be a case of I'm going to do one or two actual like characters that lead these squads, and then there's going to be the bog standard foot soldiers of law keepers, you know. And there's going to be examples of them doing really good, and then you're hearing other outlaws being taken down by them, and then there's going to be examples of them doing not so good, and going up against outlaws of like player calibers.
Yeah.
You know? And
I already have a few. I already gave you a whole bunch of.
We're working on it. Absolutely. So Helping Hands is being the co-DM. Mostly I've put him in charge. You in charge of being the law keepers. So that's gonna be fun. But yes, that's for session 0 to talk about though. Yeah.
Not session 0. I want to talk to you about what I've come up with so far after this. So.
Yeah, we can do. But yes, bog standard troopers is always a good thing to have in mind for any campaign scenario, you know. To whip out, so you can grab an encounter out of nowhere, fairly quickly and assemble it out of, you know, foot soldiers or whatever you're fighting against with any scenario is pretty good.
Yep.
So, you know, this is the bog standard gladiator, and then these are all the variants of it type deal, you know. So if you're doing the arena, yeah. So yes, soldiers and foot soldiers. It's always good to get new new character blocks of those, because it's like, okay, so this is good. You can literally swap out their weapons, and it's a different type of variant of it, you know. So that's good.
Well, Dan,
Yes.
Here's a common learning spellcaster, like an advanced soldier.
Like
the Reckoner.
Yeah.
The Reckoner is from Guildmaster Guide to Ravnica,
Yeah.
of course. But it's mainly Minotaurs who are these.
Mm-hmm.
And they can cast a whole bunch of spells. They have First Strike. The Reckoners have advantage on an initiative roll, and they're 5th level spellcasters with the ability to cast Lightning Bolt.
Oh boy! And I assume they channel it through their horns. Come on, they have to.
That depends
That's a
on.
good way of trialing it. Yeah. What
They
they
also
call?
have other spells, like long range spells, and they are also really good at combat. So if you attack them, they have a reaction called Lightning Backlash. It recharges, of course. But if you take half your damage you deal to them is dealt to you back.
Oh yeah, it's a bug zapper.
Nice.
Yep. So basically, they are the advanced units I want to use.
Can you type each of the subjects we're talking about in the chat, please?
What I would say about them, they feel like clerics.
They do.
You know which kind of cleric?
The storm one.
Tempest, yes.
Yeah, that's the one.
Because lightning backlash is just a different, like an ability that feels like, what was it? Thunderous rebuke or something.
Mm-hmm.
Fiery rebuke, I think, isn't it?
No, the Tempest Cleric gets a similar ability.
Oh, okay.
I'll just look into it, what it is called again.
It's Reckoner.
Wrath of the Storm. That's the Tempest Cleric ability, where if you get hit by an attack, yeah, you can use your reaction to cause the creature to make a dexterity saving throw. Oh, the thing about it is it's a way weaker version, because it has a range of 5 feet.
Yeah.
And it lets you make a dex save, or you take 2d8 lightning damage or thunder damage.
I was thinking about Helm's Rebuke, but lightning damage.
No. Bit, but Wrath of the Storm deals the exact same damage, and yeah. And given that the Reckoner actually has Guiding Bolt.
Yep, Guiding Bolt and Witch Bolt.
Yeah. And okay,
It
not
has...
all of his abilities, but Guiding Bolt and Thunder Wave. So Guiding Bolt is a cleric spell.
Yep.
And Thunder Wave is actually a spell that the Tempest Cleric gets. So they feel like a bit changed stat block for a Tempest Cleric. If you would put a Tempest Cleric as a stat block.
Well, that's the Reckoner, and I was hoping for this to be like the advanced basically warriors.
Yeah, they are
Looks
pretty
more
much
like
just
a cleric unit, somebody that would be built out for war, standing out for war, but they're a cleric.
Yeah, but not a healing one.
Yeah, not a healing one. They're built for frontline combat.
Yeah.
Lightning
The thing about them is, I don't see them in a city, except if you have a really strong outlaw, because For example, most of like Thunder Wave, Levit and Lightning Bolt are both spells that in a city would wreck so much stuff.
No,
Yeah, they
again,
tear apart the city.
no, like a soldier. I was thinking of.
Yeah, it's more of a soldier or a.
I think more like a mercenary, somebody
Yeah.
that is heavily specialized in the fighting, but they're also not owned by the city themselves.
They'd be very good bounty hunters.
Yes, exactly.
I think in Ravnica they are actually of one of the guilds, and I think it's the Law Guild that
Brilliant.
is, I think, run by an angel.
Nice.
It's not Law. It's actually Law is another guild. They are from the guild that is like Justice. So there's one that is the I think that is this, there's one guild that is actually Law. That it is that 3 branches are law. So the making of laws, the judging and the execution.
Yeah.
And
makes sense.
the other guild, this one that the Ragnar comes from, is actually they don't have set laws. It's just justice. Because they act on a different moral base. So, yeah, it's pretty much, oh, you killed this dude, I kill you.
Yeah.
And because you killed him, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Which it is technically not really, but yeah, that's what what they say pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, next up, I have my next idea.
Yep.
What is the Law Mage?
Yep. Law Mage. Nice.
Those are the ones that would actually be law enforcers.
Yep.
Of the Azorius Senate, that's the one guild that is actually based on laws and so on.
Yeah, this is what I thought about a Law Mage, basically just constantly watching around. I probably would give it one spell, like the counter spell, instead of dispel magic. But other than that,
yeah,
this is pretty good. This would be like a hunter.
I feel like they would actually, yeah, counter spell is also good, but I feel like the spell magic is for somebody to, for example, to get into magically protected buildings and so on. I feel like the spell magic is more practical, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a fight, no, but as a general spell that is used to counter magically created beings and so on.
Yeah.
Because there are, for example, some creatures that are created by magic that can be dispelled.
Absolutely. Like the flaming skulls and things. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was the next idea.
Cool. Good.
And one of my other ideas, I already did Thought Spy, I already did that, is Mind Mage. I didn't know where to put this, so I just put it at the end.
Yep, no worries.
This is one of the few psychotic creatures.
Cool. Okay, let me just put that here, so people can see what we're talking about. Mind Mage. And then go on that. Pop it there. There we go. Mind Mage. Nice.
Mind mages are basically mages. What?
Neutral evil. Nice. Okay.
We could change that race and to anything, but basically this is.
Okay.
They have like dominate person, mass suggestion, modify memories.
Yes.
They can read your thoughts. They have mage armor, sleep, suggestion. Basically, just a terrifying threat for one of the few psychotic creatures in the game. And they are very, very. They're they're basically, if you want to control a barbarian or like a very powerful creature, like I now use dominate person. You are now under my control. Fight the barbarian. Fight for me.
Yeah, I quite like the spy's murmur. Basically, you can an earpiece, basically, like communications.
Yep.
I mean, you could totally use that in other things other than being spies, but sure.
Yep. Yeah.
Definitely a cool item to be thinking about. Yeah. For for teams of people. Yeah, it's cool. I like that.
Yep. And next up, I'm going over a spell.
Mm-hmm.
The only spell I know is not in any other book.
Okay.
Encode thoughts.
Encode thoughts. That's cool. So have a look at what that is.
You basically pull a memory, idea, or message from your mind and transform it into a tangible string of glowing energy called a thought strand. The thought appears in a unoccupied space with 5 feet of you as a tiny, weightless, and semi-solid object that can be held and carried like a ribbon.
Can use it as a cantrip. Okay. One action.
Yep. If you can, you can also take it out of memories of others, like detect thoughts and modify memories, and see other people's memories by taking out their thought memory out of their thoughts.
And you can transform it into glowing energy called a thought strand. So, like they do in Harry Potter, basically.
Yep, you can see other people's thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Pretty cool.
That's what I thought would be interesting.
Yeah.
So was Encode Thoughts. Now, I could talk more about Ravnica, but does everyone else have a topic they want to go over?
Not for me.
I think we're good to talk about Ravnica then. Some more.
Yep. Give me a second while I yell. Dogs, no. So next up is I'm going to talk about blah 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 talk English game. I can't talk. Sorry, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk about the Fire Fist, another humanoid. They're basically a humanoid can attack greatly with its own weapons with a great sword and has very high spellcasting modifiers.
Fire Fist.
Yep.
Okay.
And they have a guided attack, which they can only use once per combat, but it adds a +10 to their roll.
That's much like the War Cleric.
War Cleric and Conquest Paladin.
Oh, I forgot to write that down. Sorry, man.
No worries. I've got it. But, yes. It's okay. It was just taking us a little bit to get into the flow of having a regular talk thing on Monday. It's fine.
Yeah.
But, yes. So, why did you want to talk about the Fire Fist? What's your thoughts with that?
Fire Fists are basically very powerful creatures, and I'm kind of surprised I've never seen this before I started looking at Ravnica. Mm-hmm. They could be like potential. They could be like a cleric you fight in a desperate battle, like an evil cleric, or just a bounty, just a person who you fight in an area. Just like any area, you can just fight this, put this in here, and have like a new, good, strong NPC villain or ally.
This is pretty much just a light cleric with plate armor It is a mix of light cleric and conquest paladin, I feel like.
The Fire Fist makes 2 great sword attacks. Okay. So it's a big bruiser type deal with magic. Not
With
just-
divine magic, even.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to talk about one of the strongest monsters in this book now.
Okay.
Give me a second while I write down its name.
Yep.
Nivmizzet.
Did you just write down Nivmizzet?
What? This is a 20th level spellcaster dragon.
Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah.
Nivmizzet. Yeah.
That thing is savage.
Oh yeah. And I believe he's actually a blue dragon, not a red for some reason.
Yeah,
No,
I think
it's
he's a red
a-
dragon.
No, actually, I believe he's a blue dragon for some reason. Or something.
He's not any type dragon. It's something to do with the lore
Yeah.
of this world.
Now,
Yeah.
But fire breath.
Yeah.
That would make him a red
Yeah,
dragon.
Ravnica doesn't have the specific types of
Yeah.
dragons, do they?
They don't have the specific types, but I think his stat log is closest to the one of a red dragon.
Yeah.
it looks like a bit
Well,
of
anyway.
a mix between the two, to be honest. But yeah.
He can
Yeah, but-
he can concentrate on 2 spells at once. The only creature who can do this.
One of the only
And they
creatures. I think there's one other.
I don't know
Or
of it then.
Some homebrew nonsense. There's definitely some homebrew nonsense. But that's-
I was going to say, just looking at his cantrips alone, it's like fire, light, frost, and shocking. Yeah, he's a combination. It's like all of them. Yeah. And why not? eh?
Yeah,
Why not?
but
He
given
can
that he has a
change
fire
spell
breath,
damage. He can change any damage to fire, any damage to fire damage into any other type of damage.
So he's
doesn't
like
matter.
a rainbow dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a 20th level spellcaster too.
The only issue I've
Like,
ever
wow.
found with spellcasting dragons is either they're just going to use their basic claw and bite attacks because it does more damage, or they're only going to use their spells because their spells are so fucking nasty.
Well, it's
They're never going to have that
well,
awesome feeling of this dragon both
Yeah.
tearing you apart physically and also spamming you with spells.
That's true. That's true. But the thing is with
the good thing is, what you can actually do with him is get this prismatic wall going between the party. So a few of them are cut off from the other rest.
Yeah.
And then just get your breaths going, and just you can so good separate people with this creature.
The only problem with this creature I see is that it doesn't have the proper spell slots because it's 6th level and 7th level, 1 slot, 8th level, 1 slot. It's supposed to have 2 slots in some of these.
Yeah.
So I probably would change that if we ever used it.
Sadly, you can't do sad. He
What?
sadly does not have flesh to stone.
Nope.
That's why I actually like Beholders so much and how they could be played. Because he has disintegrate, and you know the combination, right?
Yes, I know.
For everybody who doesn't know, a petrified character or creature counts as an object. Disintegration instantly destroys objects.
Yeah.
No saving
Because
throw or
you're
anything.
petrified, you don't get a save, yeah. So you can just delete somebody with it, but of course, as a DM and as a player, I would just feel cheated. Like, oh, cool, I'm fucking gone. I'm wasted. There's nothing I can do about it. That's so much fun. That's enjoyable.
that's just a delete button.
That's
isn't it?
how
So
a beholder, for example, would act.
it's a group killer, yeah. Definitely.
Because if you take out the barbarian or something,
No, you'd go for the wizard. Always go for the wizard.
Yeah.
Destroy the wizard instantly.
yeah, No, not with a beholder.
Barbarians are tanky and they can do some damage, but a wizard can fuck you up.
Think about the other abilities a beholder has.
Well, it also can float, so
Yeah,
fly
range
away
affecting things. So what a beholder would do was what a beholder would do is
When
you
you
can
get
fuck
to
the
the
barbarian.
The barbarian, do you know
What?
why?
Ah, shit.
Because it has a
Why
cone of anti-magic.
but you have to turn it on or off. You cannot cast the magic inside the cone.
I know.
And it takes a tile action to do it.
Yeah.
Well, of course,
So if
the
you
issue
turn
with
off-
the fucking cone, listen, is the wizard can get right up next to the beholder and take a 5-foot step sideways, and he's out of the cone. A smart wizard would do that. That's all he has to do.
Now get a
So-
flying beholder that flies over them.
Yes, he can fly over me. I can step 20 feet that way. I'm out of the cone. I can step 20 feet that way. I'm out of the cone. See, that's the issue with the cone.
How
So
long is the cone of a beholder?
destroy the wizard. Your beholder's great. Yes, he can stop magic, but a wizard's intelligent, and you can't keep the cone on them constantly.
Yeah, it's impossible. The cone's too small.
The cone's too small to keep them on constantly. So
Okay.
the
So
beholder's
we're
Yeah.
talking
gonna
beholders
kill
now,
the
aren't
wizard.
we? Let's just talk
Yeah,
beholders.
right.
That's fine.
You could go for the wizard first.
And the thing is, the barbarian, he's got low mental stats. So smack him with Fear Ray, the
All right.
What a-
Yeah.
Fear
Fear
Ray, the Charm Ray, anything like that. And he's stuck there. He can't do anything. You just take a 5-foot back and he's done. Whereas with the wizard, he's got range, he's got power, and he can stun you just as well.
Hmm.
So you want to destroy the wizard.
We're not
Always-
talking about how to kill parties because killing
We are
parties is
talking
easy.
about that.
Yeah, we can. We can talk
We don't-
about how to kill parties.
We are
That's fine.
talking about how a high intelligence creature would act while facing a party.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Again,
The bite, at least you're not talking about the bite damage because Beholder's bite damage is terrible.
yeah, there's no point for a beholder to bite you. They do that to something small and insignificant that they don't want to waste the beam on.
That's true. It's true.
And of course, they can use it for opportunity attacks, and that's about it.
Hmm.
But yeah, what a beholder is going to do is it's going to destroy the wizard, because the wizard's the most dangerous here. It knows that. They both are looking at each other, some of the smartest creatures in the fucking room, and they realize they're the biggest threats in the room. So they're both going at it.
Yeah.
And the beholder, the people do shit. The beholder can fly. He flies 15 feet in the air, and they're fucked. They can't do anything.
That's literally the first move if you were playing the beholder. You're just like, right, I'll
Yeah.
fly up. That neutralizes
The
half the
flying
party.
thing is always on.
Yep.
The problem is the DMG recommends that the Beholder you roll random dice for each attack.
Of course, but his movement, you can
That's-
just fly up first. You know?
Yeah, you fly up first, and then use a random beam.
Yeah.
And yeah, your random beams are kind of
The
That's-
thing is about a beholder, you roll 3 times, and
Yeah.
you have to shoot these 3, but you
Yeah,
can
but
choose
generally-
after rolling who to hit with them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what you do.
That
So-
makes it fun, yeah, absolutely.
You pick out the one that looks the strongest and beefiest, who has the lowest mental scores with all the mental rays, and you pick the fucking wimpy shrimp with all the strength and constitution based rolls.
Well, the
Yeah.
the randomness helps, like, not feel
Yeah.
like you're getting picked on as the player, innit? So,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
run into a beholder, you don't get instantly instantly petrified and vaporized, you know?
Yeah. Because
So-
if the beholder can pick, it's always going to be the ray or paralyzing
Well, in
ray
that
and the
order,
death.
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly, in that order. And if the first paralyzing ray fails, well, I have a second one.
Exactly.
Be paralyzed.
Exactly.
Die.
But, yeah, that's why the randomness helps. Like,
Yeah.
otherwise,
How to run a Beholder? Roll random dice and watch carnage happen.
Well, that's also what it lives off, innit? Lawful evil, you know, just chaos.
And then dragons. People don't realize how smart and scary dragons really are. Because
Yeah.
a blue dragon in its territory, even if you force it on the ground, even if you pull it down to the ground, there's sand. You know what sand does? It fills in holes. The dragon burrows underground, and you can't do shit about it. Then it pops its little head up, beams you with electricity, and goes right back under. You can't do anything about it. And the thing about Blue Dragon...
The best thing about how you can run an intelligent dragon fight is you grab the wizard, for example, and just fly up.
Yeah, and drop him.
And just go.
That's it.
Let gravity do
the end of the fight.
With that, the fact that a dragon has, I think, 80 foot of movement
means it can grab you and then fly 80 feet in the air.
Or if everyone's clustered together.
Dexterity. You have to do a strength save against your dexterity technically, or if you have a barbarian with sentinel or something.
Yeah.
Of course, it's the dragon with the plus 10 to athletics. Snatch you.
I mean,
and of course,
that
this
has
is
a
without
22 AC.
Yeah.
Or if everyone's grouped together, just fly up and just a belly flop on them.
Yeah.
It's like
no, just
give it the
if they are
badonka
grouped
attack.
together, just shoot your freaking breath weapon into them.
Oh, but it's much. You know, with flavour. Let's have a badonka donk attack. That's barbaric.
Now we're back on dragons.
Specifically, it's needed within its lore to like drawn out combat, like to draw the combat out, so it would burrow, it would fly, and it prefers to use its breath weapon, which has an incredibly long reach. So it flies in, beams you, and then flies back up.
The mizzet, whatever it's called, is like the ultimate dragon before the new dragons came out. Awaken.
The new dragon.
He is better, in my opinion.
He is better in my opinion. I don't like the way they did Fizban's because these dragons are not a fair fight. They're the size of a city. They're not a fair fight.
Yeah. They are not supposed to be a fair fight.
But they made them a fair fight. In fact, most of them are almost the same thing as an ancient dragon, just like one extra damage dice.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's about it. And
they are
the
not
breath weapon-
supposed to be really
fair.
Yeah.
They're not meant to be beatable. At that age, if they're made it there, they should be the king of the world. There ain't shit you should be able to do about it. They're just...
They're a natural disaster at that point.
Yeah.
They're literally natural disasters. There shouldn't be a reason to be able to win.
Yeah, you can't fight.
The only way you can win in this world is like near level 20 characters.
Well, you can't punch.
No, and I don't mean like a party. I mean a proper army of level 20 characters.
Well,
is what
you can't punch your way out of a tsunami. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah,
gonna punch it.
You have not seen what characters on level 20 can do. If you say you need an army of them.
You need an army. You're needing an army to beat a proper worm dragon.
Then if you play the worm correctly, that's still unbeatable.
Yeah.
You know.
Even then, you still can't win.
It's not gonna let
the
you.
The thing
sit,
about them
it's
is
not gonna.
they are supposed to be these natural disasters.
Exactly.
These campaign-ending things.
It's not supposed to. It's not gonna let you sit there and like hack it to pieces, is it?
Yeah.
As well.
But like the stat block says, they do like 12d12 fire damage for its breath weapon.
Yeah.
That's about the same as average.
That's
I know.
Ancient.
That is the thing that I don't like about them.
That's why we're
their breath weapon feels so weak in comparison to everything else they do.
But it also is only 12d12, which really I think it should be somewhere around 50, 60 d6. It's meant to fucking kill you. That's why it's on a recharge. It's meant to take half of your fucking HP in one go. With a Parabarbarian, passing his save, he takes a fourth of the damage, and he's like, that was kind of fucking cute, bro. That was kind of a little adorable.
The thing is, in such parties that can beat them, you have a good working party that use teamwork against that thing.
Yes.
And you're
still meant to lose.
Yeah. No. The thing about them is that they are supposed to be a challenging fight for a well-rounded party that has reached level 20.
Yeah.
Has multiple high-ranking magical items. and that these parties are near gods.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're meant to be using a worm against, not these
Yeah.
Normal level 20 characters that are kind of working together, but not really.
Or we are talking about power builds here.
Yeah.
And that's when things get fun with these, because power builds are... that is one of the ways to actually challenge a party that has power builds.
Something like a worm.
Yeah, a worm, a great worm, or...
But they are excellent for reshaping your continents, if you want to reshape your continents. If you want to reshape your map, they're a go-to, you know. It's like, how did this island form? Well, a worm woke up. A worm woke up and decided it wanted to carve this massive hole. Yeah.
If you have these things in a campaign,
yeah,
they either lie dormant for hundreds of thousands of years.
They're literally an island or a continent itself, you know. They wake up and it's like, oh, that's just them rolling over in their sleep, you know, and a whole continent shift.
And the thing about them is they make a good plot point in a campaign that it is set that somebody is trying to wake them up.
Yes.
And you are the party to try that they don't do it.
Yeah.
That's how I would handle Great Worms in a campaign most often.
Tim, you know there's a you remember our campaign, right? You know there's a possibility of that happening.
Yes, I know.
We're gonna have
our campaign here. Don't hear now. So no, what I mean about Grave Worms is that you can have an entire campaign about a cult that is trying to wake them up, and that you try to get them from doing this.
Yeah, and if you fail, well.
And if you fail, that's the last boss fight in the campaign. After that, the campaign ends.
And honestly, you lose the fight. There's no winning that fight. There's not meant to be. The whole campaign was about stopping it from waking up, not preparing to fight it.
You have never seen a power build level 20 party, right?
Yeah, a power build level 20 party could still easily lose to a properly built, statted out worm.
Yeah, but it is a gamble on this point.
Yeah.
Both sides could win in this. And I've seen power builds. Yes. I just say 200 damage in one turn.
Yes.
And such things. That is possible. And that's what Great Worms are meant to be. They are campaign-ending bosses.
Yes.
They are natural disasters. They are plot points that are that are prophecies, or they are the reason why the world is like it is in a campaign.
Mm-hmm.
They're nothing less than that.
Yeah.
They are literally next to the gods in the challenge rating.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
They are stronger than every demon or every archdevil that is there, that is statted out in D&D.
Oh yeah. Now the thing is most dragons don't actually get up to the state of worm, mostly because they go insane, they die of old age, or they're killed by adventurers.
Yeah.
So those that got there, they're there for a reason. They need names. You can't use the basic stat block. They need names, and they need to diverge from the stat block a little bit too.
Yeah. That is a thing you do for maybe one in the campaign.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that thing is just like the pinnacle of what a dragon can achieve.
Yeah.
Especially the metallic ones.
Oh yeah.
challenge rating 29 is just insane.
28.
Honestly, they're
Oh,
a
yeah,
bit of a
they are
joke
28,
being up
right.
there. They really are a bit of a joke being all the way up there with the way the stat block is.
Yeah,
Well,
but you have to remember that they have around 1000 HP or something.
Yeah, which honestly, some players that are power built, I've seen do 200-300 damage a turn.
I know.
So some goals for Great Worms can be avoid bringing them awake. Yep. Transcendent limits. A good way to stop someone becoming a god. You can just wake up a freaking giant dragon.
Yeah.
Yep. So they're good. Anti, like, so say if a player's like, I'm gonna become a god. Well, you've just woken up all these Great Worms. Good luck. Yeah. Yeah.
And also,
a fight between Great Worms is world-ending.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So if
It
you've
is-
got people who are trying to become dragons or whatever,
Levels.
These things can kill archdevils.
that's what they're there for, isn't it? Really. So yeah.
Yeah.
Leveling mountain ranges, destroying entire civilizations.
Yeah.
Drowning people out and fucking obliterating entire oceans.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Isn't that why the Underdark is always shifting and changing? Because there's a worm god that's cursed and trapped into the Underdark and is constantly trying to find its way to the surface. And that's why the Underdark always shifts, because it's the moving of this worm god.
That's cool. I like
I think that or the actual purple worms living throughout there.
The way I
Shifting
heard
the
it, it was
entire-
like an actual god, worm as a worm god, that's
Yeah.
trying to burrow its way onto the surface. But it's been cursed by other gods, so it can't do it.
Yeah. The worm cult. The cult of the worm.
Worm.
The thing about Niv Mizzet in comparison to a Great Worm is that he is more intelligent than one.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the ones that are in the Fizzben's guide, they're basic stat blocks. They're not actually what they're meant to be. They're meant to be 3 more CRs up more than often.
Yeah. Okay, probably not 3 more, but 1.
Oh no, they're meant to be up in beyond CR 30. Because the Great Worm, despite the fact that the Tarrasque is meant to be this all-powerful creature, I'm pretty sure a Great Worm could kick the shit out of the Tarrasque.
Yes.
If it really got down
the
to
thing
fight.
about the Tarrasque
It can't
is
die.
its abilities that are not named.
Yes, its abilities that are not named.
The abilities
There's
that are
so
not
many.
even mentioned in your editions.
Yeah, 5e sucks with the Tarrasque's baby.
Especially the regeneration.
Yeah.
The slow regeneration. A Tarrasque cannot be killed.
It can't, no.
A Great
it was
Worm
strict
can
of-
be killed. Hardly, but it can be. I think it's hilarious that they actually have 3 more level 30 CRs, being actual Tiamat and the aspects of Tiamat and Bahamut.
Yeah. Those, of course, being only aspects.
Yeah.
And now that they are there, the actual Tiamat stat block from Rise of Tiamat is that no.
No. No,
That's
the thing
outdated.
about the stat block from Rise of Tiamat, that is actually the aspect of Tiamat.
Yeah, it is the aspect. So that is now outdated.
Yeah.
This new one is the proper one you should be using in Rise of Tiamat.
Well,
so what I wanted to actually say is that Niv Mizzet should not feel like a Great Worm.
No.
Great Worms are supposed to feel like world ending. He is supposed to feel like a clever fight.
Yeah.
A fight that you cannot win not because of his challenge rating, but of his use of spells and his natural abilities. Of the fact that he can have, at the same time, technically, a prismatic wall, a reverse gravity, and another spell active.
Yeah.
For example, a wall of force.
Or you could hold person your entire fucking team, because I feel like giving them hold person.
Yeah, they actually gave him hold person.
Oh, yeah. No, he just hold persons your whole fucking team. That's it. That's the end of the game. And then he critically hits you 7 different times.
Oh, you know the way, how many people does reverse gravity actually affect? Oh yeah, all creatures. You know the prismatic wall reverse gravity combo?
Yes.
No,
You can
tell
make
us
it-
about it. What's
Yeah,
that?
Put
tell
a
me.
reverse gravity in the middle of like in about I think it's at about 50 feet height. Put reverse gravity on the entire party. And just see them flying up through the prismatic wall, taking all the damage, potentially getting petrified and banished and blinded, and then just stop with your reverse gravity and see them falling down, getting the same shit again and falling to the floor and taking fall damage.
Love it.
That's the reverse. That's the gravity slam combination.
You just need the space to do it. Interesting.
Yeah. And I suppose that a gargantuan dragon has the space to do it.
Yeah.
And that's like 2 actions.
Yeah. May I change the subject for real quick?
Well, the next subject, so yes.
The next subject is going to be lesser spawn, the lesser star spawn emissary.
Okay.
Oh god.
It is basically how do I explain this thing?
Lesser
doesn't have-
star
lesser-
spawn.
Emissary.
Okay.
That is one of the few actual staged boss fights in D&D.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
we need
lesser
more, though.
star spawn.
Yeah, we need more staged boss fight.
It's a 2-stage.
Yeah. I want 3 or 4 staged boss fights in D&D actually.
Also because most boss fights, like, they're already kind of weak from fighting other things, but then they just dump the rest of everything into the boss and kill it. A staged boss fight should have pauses in between fighting the boss and his minions. But anyways, lesser star spawn.
Yeah.
Lesser star spawn is basically a giant aberration. Well, the aberration would is disguised as something else. This is its first form. It could be disguised as anything. Polymorph into small or medium creature, actually.
Yo, this is a rock. It's a rock now.
Yep, it can be a rock if you want it to be.
No, it can't actually be a rock.
Oh, it has to be small or medium, right?
It has to be a small or medium creature.
Yep. But basically,
still, it can be because does it actually? What is? No, it has. Oh, it speaks all languages. It can be your favorite NPC.
Yep, it can be your favorite NPC, and it can be telepathically talk to anyone in 1,000 feet of it.
Oh boy, time to coordinate an ambush in set some nasty shit up for the players.
Yeah. Basically, this thing is super powerful. It has abilities. It has
Even though its CR says it's CR 19, it actually is the strongest. I would actually count it as the strongest creature aberration in D&D.
Yep. Well, the greater one is actually the strongest, but that's the second phase.
Because but it is the same creature. That's why.
Yep.
And you have to reduce both of them to 0 HP.
But we're gonna start talking about the lesser first. I wanted to phrase that. It makes 3 attacks. It can either do a ranged spell attack with 13 to hit and does 2d10 psychic damage plus 7, So for all baritone barbarians, you're out of luck because you're taking psychic damage.
You know what? I'm gonna play Benisho Bear Barbarian. Suffer. I'm resistant to all damage. Whatever the
No,
fuck they call it.
except psychic.
No, I mean take the race that's resistant to psychic. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, Kalishtar.
Yeah, Kalishtar. I win. I beat the.
There is actually a better one. Get a wizard in your group.
Get mind blank.
When you fight this thing, you are high level. You are really high level. Again, that's a thing like the Great Worms. And that's a good encounter for a really high level party.
Yep.
And at this point, I would actually say that your wizard should cast. What was the spell again? I'll just look it up.
But I'm gonna continue talking then. It has a lashing maul which does 11 to hit and it does 2d10 piercing damage and 3d8 acid damage.
Nice, that's a good chunk of damage there.
Yep, and then it can do its legendary actions, which is basically another psychic orb for one action, a teleportation maul where it basically teleports 30 feet in front of it and it does a maul attack. Or fat psychic lance. What?
So, if you know that you're heavily fighting against enemies that use psychic damage, for example, because your DM actually states that this campaign heavily features aberrations, get yourself a wizard and let him cast Mind Blank before the fight.
Wow, I was just reading it. So, once you kill it, a greater Starborn emissary appears as well.
Yep. I'm going to finish the last legendary action real quick.
Whoa.
Psychic Lance. Lash. The emissary targets one creature it can see 30 feet and psychically lashes the creature's body. The creature must make a DC 21 Wisdom saving throw or take 88 psychic damage and be stunned until the start of its next turn.
Ah, my favorite. I'm stunned. I can't play the game.
Like I said, those things are creatures that are so high CR that they are campaign ending. That's the thing that steps out of the portal after the Dark Lord summoned the aberration. That's the boss fight of a aberration-themed campaign.
Now, let's go on to the greater star spawn. After you kill the lesser star spawn, like everyone's been saying, you get to phase 2, the greater star spawn, which has everything higher but armor class.
Nice.
I just stab it in the eye with a spear.
You know what would be funny? If you just fought the same creature a second time, but it was also like a lot stronger. Oh.
It has 4 legendary resistances instead of 3.
Oh boy. The wizard must be pissed.
It has every single stat is higher than 20 except for dexterity.
Oh, it actually does not have dexterity saving throw proficiency.
Nope. Because it's a huge creature. It's a ginormous creature. It can't really move.
That thing is getting fireballed to death, I would say.
Honestly, you know, I would honestly laugh hard as hell when the wizard breaks through all 3 of the creatures.
4.
No. The first time on the first fight, break through all 3 of its legendary resistances, and then the barbarian hits it one more time and kills it. And then it transforms, and the wizard has to break through another 4 legendary resistance.
Yeah, that's what this creature is made for. It's, like I said, those are campaign-ending monsters.
No, that's just like, I want to shit on the wizard right now. I really feel like shitting on the wizard.
Okay.
Get yourself a high-level party and just make a one-shot that is just level 20. Get me something that can beat this shit.
Okay, it has basically the same attacks, but a little stronger, like Psychic Orb and Lashing Maul. But it has a new ability, recharging ability. Unholy Bile. It expels bile and it's basically its own breath attack. Except
I've actually seen this creature before, I think.
A point with 120 feet. So basically a 30-foot radius and a point of 120 feet. So it can spawn anything. The creature in area must take a DC 23 dexterity saving throw or take 10d10 acid damage on a fail save.
So max 100, minimum 10.
Yep. Or half as much as on a successful one. For each creature that fails to save, a gibbering Malthorn appears on the unoccupied space within 30 feet of the creature.
Oh yeah. So this is where this is actually where it goes because you're fighting this thing in the middle of a massive battle between humans and aberrations, and this thing is just like, what would be funny if I just dunked on everybody and made 500 gibbering Malthors. Yeah, die.
That's one of the reasons why you have to go in with a small party on that thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What?
And that reason is actually bigger than if you would fight against this dragon per se. Because a dragon just kills them. This thing kills them and then spawns gibbering Malthor for that.
Yeah. It'll even kill its allies.
Yeah. Totally.
Yep. So it has 3 legendary actions after it spawns gibbering Malthors. It can make an attack, so just basically any attack it can do, it can just make that attack for legendary action.
Yep.
It can, for 2 actions, warp space. The emissary causes the ground in a 20-foot square that it can see within 90 feet of it turned to teeth and maws. Until the start of the next time. The terrain becomes difficult terrain for duration. Any creature would takes 3d6 piercing damage for each 5 feet it moves on this terrain.
So basically, spike growth, but stronger.
Yep.
Yeah. And with teeth and maws.
Yep.
And probably even eyes.
Yep. Then Mind Cloud. The emissary releases a psychic wave. Each creature within 30 feet of the emissary must make a DC 23 Wisdom saving throw or take 32 or 5d12 psychic damage. In addition, every spell ends on the creatures and objects the emissary choice in the area. So basically, all spells end.
Yes. So the wizard finally gets through all of it, and then his spell ends, and he doesn't get to play the game.
It's almost like the creators of Dungeons & Dragons have had enough of these OP wizards, isn't it?
Yeah, almost like they made something really strong and then realized, oh, this is really strong. Let's put something in here that can break them.
Some creatures who actually stand a chance against an OP team of.
Yeah,
players.
It's like Wizards of the Coast. Might have taken favorites with the wizards.
That is not for sure.
Well, I quite like for a high level creature, the Crokek toeck.
What?
This is a gargantuan fiend.
Can you type it in the chat so I can let everyone know what we're talking about?
Okay, so basically this giant demon frog, it's the pet of I forget which fiend lord it is, but it's also counts as a troop character, so every turn it can just vomit out legions.
Oh, that is the pet of Yunahu, I think.
Yes, that's it, the pet of Yunahu. And it's the Crokek toeck, and it's he can travel in it as well, so it just might spit out this fiend lord, but it also spits out demons, and it can land. Oh, it's just nasty. I'm just going off the top of my head here.
It's all right. Let's have a look.
That thing is CR 14.
Oh wow!
But it never comes alone. It never comes alone.
It never comes alone, and as far as it is immune to the river Styx.
Yeah.
Which makes it the perfect demon fairy.
Yeah.
Baldur's
Now,
Gate. Baldur's Gate descent into
it spawns literal armies, and it just it's got a bulk.
And Disgorge.
Yes, wave-based combat that never ends.
1d4, but Balguras, 3d6 nulls, led by one null fang of Yunagu, 66 dredges, or 1d6, 1d3 rocks.
Can you stop tapping the glass, whatever that is?
Each creature it discards appears in an unoccupied space within 30 feet of Crokek, or the next closest unoccupied space.
Yeah, a never-ending low-level fight.
Yeah, you have to pretty much kill it.
Yeah, no, it's wave-based combat. This thing is sitting like on the edge of the river Styx, just where you can't get it, and it just keeps disgorging these things. And it's just never ending. Your ranger has to slowly deal with the thing.
Well, it's that, or it's a good device to herd your players where you want them to go. It's like, the horde is coming this way. Okay. See? So, yeah.
Or to get them away from a place.
Yeah.
Plus, you can have Yunagu himself just step out of it.
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
So you're fighting all these like legions and legions of creatures, and just like the demon lord Yunagu just steps out. Just okay, time for me to
all of you.
Oh yeah, Yunagu is actually also a good fight.
Yeah. So
because you can actually. So how this fight is funny is you can actually take away his flail.
So what are you on about now? So type it into the chat in Discord so I can let everyone know.
Every time we change the subject, we have to type it in.
Yeah.
Well, just to let everyone know what we're on about.
So, about this demon lord.
Okay, let's just get.
I know there are things that have higher a CR or something, but he is pretty fun to fight actually because you can just unleash him without his flail, which actually makes him way weaker because this flail is hilarious.
It is. It so is. And
because
the
he makes 3 attacks with his flail, and when he hits, he can choose an effect. He can use each effect only once per turn, once per multi-attack actually. So these effects are that he deals 2d. So the flail has a plus 16 to hit, 15 feet reach, and deals 1d12 plus 9 damage.
Nice.
After that, he chooses, when he hits, which effect he puts onto it. The first thing is that the attack deals an extra for 2d12 bludgeoning damage. The second is the target must succeed on a DC 17 Constitution saving throw or be paralyzed until the start of Yunagu's next turn. And the last thing, the target must succeed on a DC 17 Wisdom saving throw or be affected by the Confusion spell until the start of Yunagu's next turn.
Yeah, delete one player and then paralyze the other one. No. So you hit one with paralyzation, then hit him with the extra damage.
Yeah.
And then confuse another player.
The thing about Yunagu is, just take away his flail, and he is actually a few CRs lower than that.
Okay, his flail. It's scary.
Yeah. And what you can do with him is just get him on the party on mid-level and just knock them unconscious. They then awake within the abyss, waking up and just hearing the drums and so on. The drums, howling gnolls, and then the hunt begins. And they have to escape out of the abyss.
So the fight I imagine is this: the Crokek toeck turns up. It can like jump 60 feet at a time, and it's like 160 feet long. It just lands on your party, jumps off, starts disgorging entire armies. And once the party thinks they're on the winner, Yunagu himself just steps out of its mouth.
Yo, What's up, bro?
And what I would say is that this fight can actually kill a level 20 party.
Yep.
Easily.
The thing is, you can then just take away their stuff and unleash them in Yanagu's plains.
How to totally pee off a level 20 party. It's brilliant.
Yes. And it's actually a good pitch for them trying to survive in this area and then just returning to Yanagu and trying to kill him.
Yes.
And I liked that idea.
Yeah, totally. I think you and me on the same page here.
Oh yeah, I have something to talk about actually.
Cool.
A
Write it down in the
campaign
chat.
pitch
Okay.
following. What happens? You question every player to make a level 20 character. That gets 3 feats, a bunch of them, and he has to think of a pitch, what minor or what god he is of.
Do you mind if I bring gods that aren't usually in the D&D canon in? Like I particularly like the Egyptian god Shizmu, the god of wine and slaughter.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yes.
Wait a second.
Wine and slaughter.
I
Great
have
combo.
to bring my pitch through. Okay. You then have solo sessions with each of the players. And what happens in these sessions is a group of god hunters arrives. That just are designed that they are meant to kill high level characters. But what happens if they lose the fight? They're just thrown from their throne and land on the material plane. And then you question them, each player, to make a level 1 character. And that's where the campaign starts.
Oh yeah.
That is, really like that pitch because it's like, and then they wake together and they're like, they were gods.
So dethroned gods. Yeah.
Isn't
And you have an entire plot for each of these characters, why he tries to kill these god hunters.
Isn't that every Metroid game ever?
So here's a question. Basically, would these gods have been basically created as gods, or would they have been previously mortals who worked themselves up to being gods?
Hey Chris,
I
how you
would-
doing?
Hello.
I think it's more fun if they were gods from the beginning.
Now they have to relearn. They have to
Instead
learn
of
how to use it.
ascending, they have been
And
come
some-
into existence.
Yeah.
Come into divinity.
Yeah, at some point in time. And now there's a group that has become so high level that they actually try to hunt down gods.
Campaign ideas, nice.
And steal their positions.
And
That's what
this
might
campaign
be
is
like.
basically you are a bunch of dethroned gods that are hunting, that are trying to get back this divinity.
But to be fair,
And what if the
these
twist
people
is
who
this happened
the
multiple
god hunters, it's probably not just like a small group. It's probably a couple hundred people.
I would actually think it's funnier if it's just like a normal D&D group that has come so high.
All
that
right,
they,
fair enough.
they can hunt minor deities.
So basically, God Hunter from Aviators.
Yes.
Aviators is playing permanently in the background.
Yes. You know where my pitch comes from. Yes.
Yes. It's such a good song.
Yeah.
On a similar topic of songs, Tuck, Tim, I recently created Valerie from the Clockwork Dragon.
Oh, nice.
I made a Artificer Ranger multi-class,
Oh, yes. Nice.
which with basically
You have to give her the Drake Warden.
Yes, exactly. Like a Clockwork Dragon. And I basically said, okay, instead of being like a Clockwork Sorcerer or something like that, I made a Warforged,
Oh. Hmm.
but basically like a homunculus type of Warforged that is similar or imitating humanity.
Hmm.
Oh.
You also could do a actual human.
I mean, that's true.
And
I like
I'm
the
right now
Warforged thing.
debating with myself what feat would be fun.
You guys, we should probably get back to talking about like things like top subjects. We kind of went on a lot of tangent.
Yes, but the interesting thing about this character is how many languages I can speak, or this character can speak.
So what's
It was
this
like
character
7 or
from?
8 without feet.
Who's Valerie?
There is a song by The Cog is Dead called The Clockwork Dragon. And it's
Okay.
about basically a clockwork dragon wreaking destruction, etc. in some place. And then the king keeps sending people and they keep failing.
Would you mind putting a
And
subtitle
eventually
in the
a
chat?
girl with a clockwork heart decides
That-
like, okay, let's try to tame it.
Sunny, you put that in the chat because we have to put each idea into the chat.
Okay.
Just
That
to,
is,
just to keep everyone.
I will, yes.
Yep.
That is 7 languages without feet.
What colour is the Clockwork Dragon?
I was thinking.
I was
thinking
say,
it would deal fire damage, but more as in steam than fire.
yeah, and I would say it's probably made out of brass.
I was
Yeah.
going to say orange.
I feel like it's a that's a good character, especially for a steampunk campaign.
Oh, absolutely.
Clockwork Dragon.
I mean, technically in the campaign that you are running, there is a Clockwork Dragon.
Yeah, I know. The God of
What-
Law
But
and
what are tools that this character has? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Is this
Yeah.
a
7
song?
languages,
Yeah?
5 tool proficiencies.
Song.
Dan wants to ask something.
I was just wondering
Yes,
if
Dan?
the Cog is Dead song, is it?
No, the Cog is
That's
Dead
the
is the
band.
band, the Clockwork Dragon. I believe I posted it in chat once before.
Yep.
Well, we're on stream, so I don't want to get copyright striked or something.
I'm just making sure people know what we're on about. Yep.
Mm.
Yep. Cog is Dead, the Clockwork Dragon. Cool. Anyway, continue. So that's
Exactly.
where Valerie's from. Cool.
But yeah, I just
yeah.
decided like, okay, I'm gonna make this character yesterday. Made it. It was quite fun.
Yeah, it's even if the thing about the combination is that your stats don't really match up. That's the sad thing about it.
So
Not
how
really,
did you
I've
make
got-
the character? Was it a Warforged, did you say? Warforged?
Yeah, Warforged. But with standard array, I got a 16 in intelligence and dexterity.
Yep. no
Granted,
worries.
Yeah,
it's
but
level
your
6.
wisdom. That's the
I'm
problem.
just showing people what Warforged is. Yep.
I mean, even wisdom at that level is not too bad. Hang on. My wisdom is a +1, which, okay, it's not incredible, but the main damage will mostly be done through the artificer side and archery.
Yeah.
If you really want to go through damage. And seeing as it's a Drake Warden, the Drake is there as well.
Yeah, that was already clear to me.
Yeah.
Drake Warden.
Yep, that's one of the new Rangers classes.
It's
That's
a
the new,
great...
I think, right?
Oh, Warden.
Yes,
Okay.
it came out with
Yeah,
Tasha's.
it came out.
And
No.
I told you about this before.
Wasn't? No. It is from Frisbee.
His band.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it right?
Yep. And
It's not.
okay, so Drake War.
Also, I had a fun idea to basically reskin it. Instead of having a dragon, having a winter wolf.
Yeah, that is
I've
also
told you
fun.
about this before.
The thing is, if your campaign goes to high level, you have to explain why it can fly.
It's a primordial winter wolf.
And yeah, we've
Just
spoken about
grows ice wings.
And
even
of
stuff
course,
we've spoken
not really. I
about
was thinking more like I would call it Aurora,
Oh yeah,
and then
Like,
basically link it to that.
yeah. That it does not. It does not fly, but it just steps into the air and just
Exactly.
like climbing up an invisible ladder.
Kind of, yeah. With the faint shadows of an aurora beneath its paws.
That looks dope.
Wouldn't
as
that be
hell.
fun? Exactly.
That sounds like it would be fun.
Now I want.
But-
Now I want to make an entire party that is ice themed. Oh no! So what I often have is not only character ideas, but party or theme camp or duo ideas.
Sounds good.
Sounds
so,
good.
for example, an entire party, for example, just around the desert or around like an Arabian Nights campaign. You have a genie warlock that found a lamp and struck a deal with it. What did I have? A trader, a camel trader that goes through the desert with just his camels and maybe the party sometimes. A sand druid or druid of the desert that is just a person that found out how to adapt to the desert and just lives there with limited food and water supplies. And so on. Yeah.
Your favorite terrain ranger.
Favorite terrain ranger desert.
Yeah. What else? Technically, you
Sandstorm
could.
barbarians.
Right. Yeah. Storm barbarians. Exactly. Storm heralds.
Yeah, but with
Otherwise,
sandstorms.
wizards probably would not be that incredible in the desert.
It's just a dude that that found an
He's a
old
dude.
library or something in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
May I continue? May I have a subject that I can add real quick?
Yep.
Sure.
Sure.
It's a little off topic, but have you ever heard of the Inquisitors in the new book?
40k.
Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft.
The new ones, yeah.
Yeah, have you ever heard of it?
Not myself.
Okay. This is what I'm going to go over then. There's 3 Inquisitors. Inquisitors of the Mindfire, Inquisitors of the Sword, and Inquisitors of the Tome.
Oh yeah.
All right. What are the specifics?
They are all of this group in the lore anyway worked with Strahd at one point, actually, before he was a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
But when Strahd became...
Killed his brother, ate his heart.
Yeah, and became basically evil. The leader who was working with him became very heartbroken and refounded the organization he was there part of to root out...
Wait, are these the guys who are in Argon Bostold?
No. They got into a different domain of dread after that Strahd did what he did. After that, we'll start with the Inquisitor of the Sword, I guess. They basically became an organization to root out the evil in people's minds and destroy it. Each of them have their own abilities. One's sorcerer, one's basically a mainline fighter, and one's a wizard. Each of them have their own special abilities and powers. I thought it would be a cool idea for like wandering travelsmen, because they're like use psionics for fighting. But I'll just tell you what they can do. First off, at the start of each of their turns, they regain 10 hit points for this Inquisitor of the Sword.
Yeah, we'll go through each of them.
Yep, in the Inquisitor of the Sword, you basically regain 10 hit points per each turn, as long as it has 1 hit point. Has a multi-attack, which whether it hits or misses, they can teleport 30 feet away every time they attack. The Inquisitor of the Sword.
Yeah.
Their main attack is the Silver Longsword, what does 1d8 or 1d10 plus 4, depending on one hand or two hands. And they do 48 psychic damage if they hit. Also, not force damage. Am I being interesting, or should we just
No, keep going.
not talk?
You are.
Okay. They also have spells we can cast at will, like Detect Magic, Detect Thoughts, Dispel Magic, and Sending. They also have Dimension. Their once per day spells are Dimension Door, which basically means yes, it can just teleport out of your way after if you lower its HP enough.
Yeah.
Fly and Greater Invisibility.
Yeah.
And then its bonus action is Blink Step. It basically teleports 60 feet away. So basically, it's the ultimate mobility unit for parties at the fight. What do you think of the Inquisitor of the Sword? Sonny? Tim?
Good.
Nosh?
Sounds
sure?
annoying to fight.
Sounds good.
Mm.
So I always got a delay because I keep my mic muted. So
Do you think? But don't you think it would be cool? Don't you think it's a cool thing, monster, or not really?
I mean, that definitely does sound cool.
It's pretty fun.
Hmm.
But it's pretty much designed to be annoying to fight.
What you can do is what you could do for a one shot is actually turn the tables and give them to a party to play them.
Yeah.
So for a 3-person party, each person plays one of them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. That's what I was thinking of. We can do. I could run a campaign with like these 3 creatures, and you are all one of the creatures.
Are they all similar CR?
8.
Yeah, they're all
of
challenge
them
rating
are
8.
Challenge rating 8.
Oh, that's good. Cool.
They're pretty much just a party without a healer.
Yep.
Interesting. So just give one the healer feat.
So that's of the sword.
And
Do you want to do the other 2?
Yes, I'll do the other 2.
Nice.
Unless you want to do the other one.
No, you do 'em. You're doing good.
The next one is the wizard type of the Inquisitors. Psionic Wizard with Inquisitor of the Tome. It has a multi-attack, which means basically it can do attack twice. It has the same sword attack as the Inquisitor of the Sword, but no teleport. It can't heal itself, but it has a Force Bolt. What does 4d8 plus 4 force damage if it hits, and then it pushes the creature 10 feet away if it hits. Its other abilities, it basically has the Mind Flares Implode or Mind Blast ability, but a little stronger, 68 plus 4 force damage, and you're knocked prone if you don't make a save. It has some spell casting, like Detect Magic, Dispel Magic, Levitate, Mage Armor, Mage Hand Sending, and Orcan's Resilient Spear for once per day, and Telekinesis once per day. One of its most cool abilities is its reaction, Telekinetic Deflection. In response to being hit by an attack roll, the Inquisitor can increase its AC by 4, and if it blocks it, it actually flips the attack and makes it hit you instead.
Wow.
with that AC.
Hmm.
What do you think?
It's pretty much just a better shield, but it could be fun.
Sunny? Or Nasher?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely sounds interesting. You could play, interesting to play, frustrating but ultimately satisfying to fight against.
Sunny?
Sounds fun. Like if you have a decent party, it could be fun to play. Especially the reaction.
What about the fight?
For those who like supporters.
What about to fight? What do you think about it to fight?
To fight that.
Yep.
Well, it would be annoying. Not necessarily again. Does it also have all the teleports?
Nope, it does not have teleport.
So this would be easy to fight against. But if it's in a party and you can't get to it easily because of various other things, it could make the encounter so much more difficult.
Yep. That's Inquisitor of the Tomb.
Tome.
Sorry, my bad. And the last Inquisitor is the Inquisitor of the Mindfire.
Yeah.
I want to talk about these, but if I just don't know if you guys are enjoying it or not sometimes.
So read the last one. And then, yeah.
It has the same silver longsword as everything else. It has Mindfire, which it can use to attack twice like the silver longsword it can. And if you fail DC intelligence, you basically do, it's a saving throw. If you fail, you take 3d8 psychic damage and be stunned until the Inquisitor's start of the next turn. If you succeed, you take nothing. It has some spells it can cast.
Yep.
Sorry. It has some spells it can cast, like Arcane Eye, Calm Emotions, Detect Magic, Detect Thoughts, Dispel Magic, Sending, as usual, and Suggestion. But for once per day, it can cast Mass Suggestion and Modify Memory. And the final thing it can do is Inquisitor's Command once per day. It can take over it has a recharge, basically not once per day. Recharge at 60 feet, must save a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw or be charmed until the Inquisitor's next turn. It can then command that creature to do attack action, move, or both. When the control this way, the target can only make the attack or the dash action. It can't make both. So rogues, you can't do that.
That math suggestion, that's a that can end an encounter if everything hits.
Yeah.
Just like tell everybody walk away and they're just gone. That's the end of the encounter. You can use that against a party as well. They can just go home. The entire party starts walking back.
Yeah.
What is if your character doesn't consider one place a home? He gets an existential crisis, probably.
Crawls to the nearest pub.
Yes.
This is basically just the one what messes with people's mental and wisdom. It makes them make a whole bunch of saves.
Yeah. What is really evil is the mass suggestion, which holds for 24 hours.
Yeah.
I really much like mass suggestion.
What do you think, Sonny? Why do you always mute? Oh well. For the rest,
because I'm currently not home and there's other people
okay.
talking outside my room.
Okay. There's. What do you think of this creature? Oh, never mind.
Sounds fun.
Yep. So those are the Inquisitors. What do you think of them being a team?
Well, yeah, that's definitely a power, menage a trois, or whatever it is.
Yep. This would probably be quite annoying to fight against.
And a bit OP if you're playing them.
Yes, especially if you have two sword guys in there who can just basically teleport the entire party in and then teleport the rest of everyone out again. The second things get hairy.
It can only teleport itself besides Dimension Door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about Dimension Door.
You can only cast it once per day.
Fair enough. But still, like, they rush in, bonk you on the head, or ambush you, and then if the fight is not going their way, then they grab the rest of their party and teleport out. 500 feet away. And that's basically them.
Well, one of their main enemies is interesting too. You basically can't kill them normally, but I don't know if we want to talk about that.
Sure, we might as well. What's their enemies?
The Priest of Orb. I can't spell it, so I can't say it. So I'm going to type them in.
Yep, just type it.
OSYUS. They have tattoos, which would be interesting for my last character, where are basically necromancy tattoos, which is interesting. If they drop the 0 hit points, roll on a table for a boon for the priest receives. The priest dies, it receives a boon it already has. If it receives a boon it already has.
Yeah.
The priest dies, it receives another boon it already has. So you have to basically keep killing it until it doesn't have any more boons.
So these are like priests of the undead demon guy, Lord.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. If it receives a boon, it revives at the start of its turn with half its hit points recovered, and the creature type is now undead. To prevent its revival, you either have to kill it and it rolls on the same thing, or remove the tattoo of Ouroboros on the priest's body. The tattoo is invulnerable while the priest has 1 hit point. The tattoo is otherwise at AC 15 and is immune to poison and psychic damage. It has hit 15 points, but it regains all its hit points at the end of every combat turn. So this tattoo is basically make sure you either destroy the tattoo on the body or they revive themselves.
Boons of Undeath, yeah.
I'll talk about the boons of Undeath later. I'll talk about its attack now.
Yeah.
Soul Blade. It basically a +5 2d4 hit piercing damage if the target's a creature. If the target is a creature, it is paralyzed until the start of the priest's next turn. And if it kills anything, the soul is trapped in the priest's body, manifesting as a soul tattoo on its body. The soul is free, the priest dies. Then it has Necrotic Bolt, which is basically a long-range necrotic attack. And the target can't regain hit points, basically, until the creature's next turn. Lastly, its ability is its soul tattoo. The priest's tattoo touches one of its soul tattoos on its body. The tattoo vanishes and the soul manifests as a shadow creature. Appears in occupied space. The priest can see with 30 feet of it. The creature has the size of a silhouette of the original body, but is otherwise stat block of the shadow. And the priest can command it to do anything, no actions required mentally to do it, and it takes its action. If it's within 5 feet of the priest, it can turn back into a soul tattoo on the priest's body. It's recharged, but I think I would just do it if have a limit how many tattoos this priest has on its body. So then there's resurrection. So what do you guys think of this? It can resurrect 8 different times technically.
Annoying. Also interesting.
These are the main battle versus against the Inquisitors, basically. They're one of the main enemies.
Which honestly explains why they need to get in, get out quickly. Basically, ambush it, take away 1, if they're lucky, maybe 2 lives, and then basically rush out again.
Only one of them can teleport. That's a sword.
I am aware that he can teleport around, but basically the dimension door, you can grab 1 more willing creature.
Yeah.
Which basically means that they can, if you have a couple sword people, that you can move as a group.
This is from Van Richten's Guides for Ravenloft, so this is basically the priest of danger.
It's pretty fun, but at the same time, as Chris already said, pretty annoying to have reoccurring enemies.
Reviving enemies, you mean?
Yeah.
On that topic, Rakshasas and what was it? White. Always come back.
Yep. I'm gonna need to type that. I don't know how to type that.
Yep, hang on.
About Rakshasas, but it can take 100 years for them to come back. Or as far as I'm concerned, if it's everything between, I think, 100 years and within the next 2 months or something. Or was it?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty random how long they take.
It's fairly random, up to the DM to decide. In fact,
You can just have a freaking Rakshasa just. Oh guys, I'm back.
This is like the Team Rocket of the D&D group.
kind of, just more angry.
Yeah, more
and
angry.
With
and wants your
and with
blood.
the ability to basically disguise themselves and be immune to everything below 6th level.
Yeah.
Spellcasting wise.
The danger creature.
Yeah. And that topic, I believe it was White that
White
comes back.
White comes back and hunts the person for a year.
Exactly. Which is pretty cool because I recently read a cool way to utilize it. Basically, it always comes in at extremely inopportune moments for the party. Like they're fighting a tough enemy. What pops up? White, because it sees like, okay, this is my chance. I'm gonna fuck them up.
Nice.
I would.
Or they're about to take a long rest. Suddenly pops up the white. Pretty much keeping them from
whites.
Not necessarily comedic relief, but basically keeping them from resting.
Right now.
Oh god.
A white that comes in the worst opportunities, but he likes jokes and so on. So imagine you are at you are meeting with the king. He has invited you because you saved the lands. And just a white comes in and tells that you killed somebody.
Oh, that's what happens if you make a white out of a bard.
Yeah.
But basically, someone said basically run them like not ambush predators, but pursuit predators. Basically, the things that don't let you rest. Like you try to take a rest, nope, it appears.
Like humans.
You do not get the benefits exactly like humans, yes, but so that you don't get benefits of a long rest potentially or something like that.
Until you kill them, then they have to come back, and then you get a long rest, and then they come back.
But they come back quite quickly.
Mm.
And they might bring more stuff with them. Who knows?
The thing with what would be a good group of NPCs or a good character idea is a dude who killed somebody, and this guy was a bard, and this guy is now white, and he is like constantly just playing lute music or something like that, and he has tried to kill him, but he always comes back.
The funny thing is, I had a very similar idea just today about one player plays a necromancer, and the others play the things that he created or summoned.
Oh no. Who have at this point, like, that's his inner core of creatures. He always resurrects.
Exactly.
That have been resurrected so often that they actually get class levels.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be so fun. Like this old old paladin skeleton. And you just look at him and he's just like, he tells how strong he was and which armies he felt, and he's like this thin skeleton.
That's interesting.
Because nearly all skeletons look the same, so you can't see how muscular he was. And he's really not really fitting into his armor anymore. Or, like I said, the white bard. Which would actually be a really fun character concept. Imagine playing a character that was killed by the party. But he came back as a white, but not because he actually hates them for killing him, but he actually liked them.
Nice.
And they didn't like him.
Nice.
That's not pressing as hell.
Yeah.
Right.
It would be a really fun
us
character dynamic. Just die already!
That brings us to the end of the 2-hour chat. So yeah, thanks for the conversations, everybody, and we'll see you all on Friday. So Friday is when we're doing the session 0 of the new campaign, which will be the Outlaw Campaign. And yeah, in session 0, we'll run through everyone's characters, house rules of the campaign, and yeah. So we'll see everybody there. Thank you for all of our conversationalists, everyone in the chat, and yeah, we'll see you next Friday. If not next Friday, next Monday for the next chat. Thank you, everybody. And we'll be seeing you then. Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. And please comment, like, and subscribe. I enjoy reading through the comments. Until we see you next time. 3, 2, 1, and we're out. Boop.